Hey there, AC Coolio, aka Pseudo here, playing The Binding of Isaac. What, the video's title is misleading? You thought we were playing Afterbirth? Nope. Today, we're going back to the basics. You know? The real basics. Those real basics. Back when there were only 6 playable characters. I haven't even unlocked Blue Baby yet on this. I started with Afterbirth, so, you know. I actually just bought this Afterbirth just to screw around a bit. This is the original Binding of Isaac, for those of you who don't know. It was originally a Flash game released like 2011 or so. So, it's a lot simpler, a lot lower frame rate, but it feels like a late 2000s Flash game, you know what I mean? It's definitely like a turn-of-the-decade Flash game feeling, which I like. It's fun. So we're going to be playing as Cain here, because he's kind of OP, and I haven't actually beaten the game with him yet. Over here, the final boss is basically just Mom's heart. You can fight Satan too, but like I'm probably not going to get that far realistically, and I don't have like It Lives unlocked yet, so I have to just get lucky with Satan showing up. The path to Sheol is what I mean specifically. So yeah, I mean this is a pretty similar game overall. I mean Rebirth and Afterbirth, Rebirth is basically like a remake of the game to make it not in Flash, because Flash kind of sucks, as you may know. Just not a very good platform. So you know, I kind of like the art style in this. I definitely like the music better in this version. It's nice, and it's bringing us back to the basics. You know what I mean? Like if you want to get back to the basics, if you want to get to like what really makes the Binding of Isaac, as opposed to not the Binding of Isaac, you gotta look here. You gotta look to the classics for inspiration. Yeah, you know, it's still. I mean, like pretty much all the content that's in here is in Rebirth too. It's just that this has sort of more limited content. So runs in this tend to be more consistent, but worse. If that makes any sense. Like you're never gonna have the lows are lower, but the highs are also much lower. If that makes any sense. Or well, no, excuse me. The lows are higher, but the highs are much lower. I'd say the highs are much lower because you can't really OP runs in this, at least not with the items I've gotten in any run I've done in this. So it looks we're gonna start out with a fight against Famine. You know, one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. I can't remember if we fought this guy in Afterbirth in my Afterbirth videos yet, but you know, he's basically the easiest of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And in this, he's always going to drop a cube of meat, since cube of meat is just what horsemen drop. The ball of bandages has not been added to the game yet in this version. This is without the Wrath of the Lamb DLC even, which was the DLC for the original. So we're really getting back to the basics here. We're really getting back to what makes this game what it is. Cain, by the way, I said he's overpowered. In both this and Rebirth, he starts with an item called the Lucky Foot, which increases his luck. But in this, there's not actually like a real luck stat. So luck is actually just yeah, luck is basically just it makes him get more drops, which is similar to luck in the original games in Rebirth, but it also guarantees that all the pills he picks up are good, which is actually really overpowered. He's also, I guess he just has like higher offense than he does in Rebirth. So Cain's like I think he's the best character in the game in this. I know Samson, who is only in the Wrath of the Lamb DLC, which I do not have installed, though I do own if I ever wanted to play it. It's only like $5 in case you're interested in playing the original Binding of Isaac. The whole package is like $6. So you know, I decided why not? Like let's pick this up. Let's try this out sometime. You know, let's see what makes this game. Let's see why like what people were playing back in 2011. Like, let's see why this got popular. If you know what I mean. By the way, I'm just gonna make a little plug for my Super Mario Bros. X videos, because I'm doing a bit of that now. Okay, hey, if you're here at all, you probably came from the SMVX forums in the first place. That's where I'm known after all. You know, I'm Pseudo, of course. You know Pseudo if you're from SMVX. I mean, most likely. I don't want to self-promote, but I do have a sizable number of posts, and I'm a staff member, so you probably know me, I would guess. That's, you know, guesses aren't always correct. it's kind of a waste to use the world card on the last floor, considering that I don't have it now. And it'd probably be a lot more useful here since I actually have bombs to open the secret room. But, you know, we're all good. And I again, like, the lows are pretty high in this game, so I know we're going to do too badly. Oh, the small rock. So we got some damage up there. I think it decreases your speed too, but I'm not really sure if it actually does that in this game. It'd be kind of nice if it didn't, although, you know, that would probably also mean it's not a tears up, just the damage up that it's described as. It's also tears up in Rebirth, which is really great thing for it to be. We're going to go to the arcade. Usually there's a free coin in here, so like, we're going to break even. We can go back there if we want. I don't really know if the blood banks work the same way in this, as in, like, they don't count against you getting a deal with the devil in Rebirth, because they don't, like, count as real damage because it's self-inflicted. But since it is, like, pretty much damage, like, I'm not really sure it's like that in this, so I don't want to chance it in case it'll mean I don't get a deal with the devil, which would be pretty terrible. Deals with the devil are very good in this, much as they are in Rebirth. Although, since health's a bit more important, it seems like you get hit a bit more, since Isaac's, or Cain in this case, is a bit slower. You know, I don't know. We'll see. Spelunker hat. Okay, that'll allow us to find the secret room. Not a particularly good item. It also lets us see, like, what's behind doors before we unlock them, which is kind of nice. It's not something I'm gonna turn down. There's a secret room. We're gonna open it. That's not where I would have guessed it was, but it's definitely a valid location. We got Bob's Rotten Head. Items in secret rooms are a lot more common in this, which I like. Bob's Rotten Head is basically like a throwable bomb. We can use. It also does poison damage. It's very strong. I think it has a 3-room charge. So it's you know, it's decent item by especially the original Binding of Isaac standards. Definitely not a useless item by any standard, especially when thrown at monsters. We will do to show it off. Just kind of move around with it, and there, did some sizable damage to monster, and he's poisoned now. Statuses against bosses seem a lot stronger in this to me than they are in Rebirth. And yeah, I mean, he's going down real quick because we have high damage just because we're cain and we have the small rock. Basement. Oh, I took no damage in the basement for the first time in regular game. I did that with the Lost a long time ago. In the other game, okay. So here we have Dead Cat in the Pact. Dead Cat isn't nearly as good in this since there's no guppy transformation, and it's kind of like not that great an item otherwise. But the Pact is still great because it gives us 2 soul hearts for 2 regular hearts, which is not necessarily an improvement, but I'd say it's a fair trade since we also get a damage and tears up. We didn't have any tears up before. We did have some damage up, and damage ups are always a great thing to have. So definitely a worthwhile devil deal, especially when we already had 4 hearts. You know, if we had only had 2 hearts, we hadn't gotten any health upgrades yet as Cain, might not take that deal. But since we had a couple, definitely gonna make it because this will make us super strong. Alright, this mulligan is kind of being a bitch, if you know what I mean. Kind of not getting into position. There's our secret room. We don't have a bomb though, so we're gonna have to hold off on opening it. I suspect the next room's gonna curve over to the right on the map, since that's just how secret rooms are placed. But we got those. We got some of these hopping headless children. Hopping bloody headless children. I don't know what enemies are called, so just bear with me a bit. You know. Yeah, that's basically what that dude is, a hoppy, bloody, headless child. So we're going to go back in this direction and get to the item room, and hopefully a bomb as well, so we can get to that secret room, which would be quite nice. I just like this music. It's so jazzy. Like, I wish they had kept the same music in Rebirth, or at least, like, less different. Like, if they brought back the same music, too. But, I don't know, it might have been, like, licensing issues or something. I can excuse it. I would install this music as a mod for Rebirth, but... damn, that bomb spawned in a place where I can only get it with a bomb. Oh, you know what? I do have a bomb, and that bomb is called Bob's Rotten Head. So, we'll do it. I forgot about... Okay, yeah, so all pills are good with Cain. Oh, so this is going to make us place some bombs everywhere, so that's actually a bit bad, but only because of my placement. It's certainly, I would say it's a net positive pill effect, since you get some free bombs, even if they might be a bit difficult to operate. We did lose a heart and a half, but we're all fine. And here we got, I think it's Doctor's Room. Oh, Doctor's Room is definitely an improvement on Bob's Rotten Head. It might not do poison damage, but it basically lets us shoot a missile The Doctor referenced is presumably Dr. Fetus from Super Meat Boy. It's another cameo from one of Edmund Macmillan's earlier games. Since there is an item called Epic Fetus, which allows us to shoot those missiles at will, as opposed to normal tiers. Though that item, I don't know if it's actually in this. It might just be the Doctor's remote. Although I'm almost certain Dr. Fetus is, at least in Wrath of the Lamb. Since I've heard it referenced as being extremely overpowered back in the times of the original game, but a lot of time people just conflate the original game and Wrath of the Lamb, which is fair. I mean, I'm continually conflating throughout this video Rebirth and Afterbirth, even though they're quite different content. I'm exploring more. I'm not really sure why, but it looks like we're going to be fighting a mini-boss in the next room, which I will do, since you can often get free items from mini-bosses. Might be able to get another heart if it's gluttony or something akin to that. There are no super sins in this game, just the normal sins. Oh, it is gluttony. Oh, I have predictive capability, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, so that he could go down easily because we have a lot of health. We got 2 soul hearts, so I would say that's overall worth. This is actually more health we have than we took damage from that explosive diarrhea pill. So definitely looking good here. I mean, it might not seem that good by Afterbirth standards, or it might. I'm not really sure. But this is definitely a good run by original game standards. Since we're only going to go as far as Mom's Heart. All we have to be able to do is beat Mom's Heart, really. And Mom's Heart herself is actually quite a bit easier than she is in Rebirth as well. Now we have enough coins to buy an item too in the shop, so we're going to go to that shop, which is 2 rooms down, and hopefully buy something, assuming something good. We got the ladder. I'll definitely take the ladder, and probably a pill as well, because again, all of Kane's pills are good. Bombs are key. Okay, so that's not really good, but it's good because I'd rather have more bombs than keys, probably. So I'll definitely take it with no complaints. Fighting Gertie. Gertie is actually quite a bit harder here since Isaac's a lot slower. Although she's still largely the easy money she is in Rebirth, if you know what you're doing, anyways. So we're gonna use this Doctor's remote to fire on Gertie a bit, fire a missile. It didn't actually do that much damage. We might actually go back for Bob's Rotten Head. I was really liking that poison damage. Doctor's remote might be. I think it's less powerful here than it is in Rebirth, or maybe I don't really use Doctor's remote in Rebirth much either. So yeah, now that all her summons are dead, she's not really a threat. It's only those blood shooter things that she summons in front of her that are a real issue, since they fire all over the room. But here we can just walk out of the way of her bullets when we see she's about to fire, and kill those gray turret flies when they're summoned. Just get out of the way of her bullets. So she's dead now. We got some dog food dinner to increase our health. And yeah, we're definitely going to go back and pick up Bob's Rotten Head, methinks. Oh, this is a 2-room charge, or a 3-room charge in this. It also looks like it's only a 2-room charge. The ladder allows us to cross over one space pits, in case you didn't notice. It's another direct import from the older Zelda games. Cain also has lower range compared to most other characters, including Isaac, who's kind of the baseline character. So he's a little bit worse in that respect, but definitely overall pretty overpowered. I mean, who else suffers from range is Zazel in Afterbirth, and he's almost certainly the best character in the game in Afterbirth. Pretty hard to argue otherwise. We're going to the caves too with 3 normal hearts and 3 soul hearts, so we're looking good. There are no black hearts in this, by the way. It's just normal hearts or soul hearts. We got a secret room right above us to start, so we're going to blow our way into that. Hopefully get some money or an item, which is pretty much all they have in this game, in the original. Just coins or an item. And here, we will try to blow up these barrels to kill some of these meat guys. One of this game's main issues compared to Afterbirth is the frame rate. It definitely suffers from frame rate issues when there are a lot of tears on screen, which can be pretty annoying, especially with enemies that just have a lot of tears as part of their attacks. I suspect that's why bosses like Mom's Heart are a lot easier in this, since they just didn't have the technology to make Mom's Heart shoot out a ton of bullets like she does in Rebirth. Pills here? I found pills and ate them, so that does nothing. But better than a negative effect. I shouldn't say that Kane's pills have all positive effects. They just have no negative effects, which I suppose is a bit different. Music's so jazzy. It's like, okay, like I know in my last video I said like Night Kawada should get that award for bopping this music, but this is some pretty bopping music. And here we have Balls of Steel, which gives us 2 soul hearts. That's definitely one of the best pills in the game actually. So happy about that. We got to the boss now, but we're gonna go back and search for the item room in the shop since we have a lot of coins and keys, which we can use to get into those rooms and use in those rooms. We got another key, which means we'll have one on the next floor too. So that's looking good. In case you don't remember the structure of the game, we gotta, after this the caves 2, we gotta go to the depths 1 and 2, and then the womb 1 and 2, and then at the end of womb 2, we're gonna fight Mom. And you know, luck permitting, we'll get to Sheol too. But that's I haven't beaten Satan in this yet, so like don't hope for too much. I think his fight's the same, but as Rebirth, but I can't be 100% sure. Here we got a locked chest in an arena. We'll do it. I only got a card. The devil. I guess we'll just use that here. We don't really need it anywhere else. This is definitely not worth doing unless we got something truly excellent as like the room reward. But you know, whatever. We're all good. We just gotta fight some maggots and now some of these zombie guys. Keeping meat, putting in work a bit. Aren't a lot of good familiars in this game actually. Especially compared to Rebirth, you know, nothing like Little Brimstone or anything like that. The really top tier ones aren't in the game yet. And then we got some of these shooting heads and some of those like just those heads that charge you too. The devil card is a damage up, by the way, and we got nothing for that, but we didn't lose anything either, so I'm happy. Oh, we did actually lose a key opening the chest, so that was actually a net loss, but that's fine. Well, I guess we got that key on this floor, so it's not like we really lost anything compared to when we started the floor. If that makes any sense. We got another bomb. We're gonna go in the item room. We got the game kit. That's a pretty good item. It gives us invincibility for a short time, which allows us to do some crazy stuff. I don't really know if I'm gonna take it over Bob's Rotten Head though. It is a 6-room charge, often considered a bit underpowered. At least a 6-room charge in Rebirth. I don't know for sure that it is in this, but I think we'll go with Bob's Rotten Head because I like having the infinite bombs. And I don't like having... oh god, it's greed. Okay, yeah, greed still shows up in the same way. So sometimes you just don't get your shop, and it makes you lose all your money. And the rooms are a bit smaller in this too, which makes his like triple shot way more annoying to avoid. Hopefully we'll get a Steam sale from him, which actually will be great in the next couple of floors. Oh, we did. That's all deadly sins drop only 1 item all the time. Those are bombs are key pill, which I'm not really interested in taking. Since that just like switches our amounts of bombs and keys. We have 4 bombs though, and I like having those 4 bombs. You don't need as many keys as you do bombs, especially starting in the womb, since keys are absolutely useless, believe it or not. And there's an enemy bomb, troll bomb, or whatever you may decide to call them in your personal life. It's not my concern what you choose to call enemy bombs from the Binding of Isaac in your personal life. You can make your own decisions about that one. Try not to get hit here. I guess we will trade 1 bomb for 1 key. That's worth, since we are totally out of bombs. Especially since we have Bob's Rotten Head backing us up as kind of a last resort bomb, which we'll mostly use Bob's Rotten Head for offense, but as a last resort bomb, that'll work out too. It's often what I end up using Bob's Rotten Head as, in many cases. And Cain does have more likely room drops than everybody else, due to his luck foot. Well, unless another character picks up the luck foot, which is certainly possible. It's like an item room drop, or I think even the shop in this. The shop has a much wider variety of items in the original compared to in Rebirth, based on what I've seen. I know you can get like chocolate milk there sometimes, which chocolate milk's a really great item. I haven't gotten yet on the Afterbirth Plus. I don't actually know if Lilith, who we've been playing as, can use that item, chocolate milk, since she has a bit of a strange... I mean, fighting pestilence. It's strange. It feels like we fought... we just fought a famine. It's a bit strange to be fighting so many deadly sins, or not deadly sins. The similar guys to the deadly sins. Who are these guys? The Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Yeah, so it's pretty strange to be fighting all these dudes at once. especially without the Book of Revelations, which does make encountering them a lot more likely. But we haven't seen any Book of Revelations in this run, so kind of strange that we're seeing so many of these dudes. It will be nice to get another cube of meat, though, because when you get an extra cube of meat, it actually just upgrades your current cube. So now it fires, and eventually we can get it to turn into a Super Meat Boy. But we probably won't get that unless we... That requires, like, 1 or 2 more meat cubes. So we would have to fight war and or death before this run is over, which, you know, is possible, certainly, but it's already pretty unlikely to see just 2 horsemen, so... Although it's pretty common to see death on the womb, since there are only 3 womb bosses, including him, in this game, because the womb's just kind of underdeveloped. There are only 2 depths bosses besides war too, so I guess those 2 are pretty common encounters actually. So it wouldn't be terribly surprising to see another. And then we get the cube of meat to turn into like a meat boy who charges into enemies to attack for us, which is a very nice item. And although it does remove the orbital status, but I think it's generally worth it because the Meat Boy can do a ton of damage, especially if we upgrade it twice. You can upgrade it up to 3 times, not including the initial just getting it. Mini Mush, speed and range up, definitely no complaints there. It did seem to be lacking on speed a bit, aside from what Cain starts with, and range is also something that Cain lacks, as I mentioned before, so having extra range is going to be very nice to us, quite nicely. Shot speed doesn't seem to be in the game yet from what I've seen. I know it was added in Wrath of the Lamb, at least, because everybody was always complaining about shot speed back in the day. The original game, I've seen some old stuff suggest that. Hierophant, because that used to be bad. Shot speed used to be bad. Yeah, just straight up bad. We got the 9 volt here, which gives us a bit of extra charge on that. We also got the Wiggle Worm, which is an actual item in this instead of being a trinket. Makes it pretty terrible. Definitely probably the worst item in the game. Thankfully, just by seeing it, I believe we've removed it from appearing in any other item pedestals, just to the way item generation works. That's at least how it would work in Rebirth. Though I don't really know about any kind of detail the item generation mechanics. I don't even really in Afterbirth Plus, but you know. I do know enough to know that once you've seen an item, you can't see it again. Keep forgetting we have the ladder. It's a very nice thing to have. I love ladders. I love climbing. Yeah, we're just searching for the secret room, but now we found it, so no more need for that. Or else I guess we're also searching for the boss since we haven't found that place yet. We're probably hoping for Loki, since he's by far the easiest boss in the depths. The only others are Monster 2 and... Oh, we got the Blast Assist here. This is the boss from the womb, actually, although significantly downgraded for this particular fight. Similar to how Teratoma might be downgraded, or Fistula and Teratoma might be downgraded in Rebirth. And I believe Fistula, although Teratoma isn't in the game yet, is also downgraded regularly in this game. Here we have 9 coins. Definitely good stuff. Steam Sale came in handy earlier, although I'd rather actually not buy that Wiggle Worm because it's really a bad item. I'd rather not have it than have it. That's how bad it is. So definitely not something we're interested in picking up. I'm just gonna go straight to the boss. We don't have really any more business to conduct on this floor. And yes, it is Loki, that young devil baby kid. So we are going to take out our thingy, blow that guy up, and now he's a bit poisoned, bit sick. Bit sick, our good friend Loki. Maybe he might want to see the doctor about that particular condition he's suffering from, in which he takes damage automatically. He does appear to be refusing to teleport, which is a bit frustrating until we can probably kill one of these exploding flies. And oh, there he goes. Yeah, he's a teleporter, that Loki. He does love to teleport. Ever since he was a young child, all he did was teleport every day. He's a very easy boss, though. All he does is shoot a few bullets. I think I mentioned he's very easy in Afterbirth, and he's no different here. Here we got a wire coat hanger. Tears up, very nice item. Down in here, we got another Deal with the Devil. We got a Ouija board, which allows us to shoot through walls, and a Book of Sin, which summons random items. I don't really think I'm going to trade heart for either of those. I'm happy with my situation right now. Now on to the Depths 2, home of Mom. Mom's a pretty hard boss on this. I feel like she She's a bit harder than in Rebirth, though. It might just be my imagination. Since this game just is a bit harder in general. But yeah, it's going well. We got some dead babies here shooting at us, but no real problem with that. We can kill those dead babies pretty easily. They don't have that high health, even if this is the depths. This is an annoying room here. We got a bunch of hopping, headless, bloody children coming after us, along with those like turret things. Pretty annoying stuff. Especially when they can block your shots. Maybe I should have bought the Ouija board. I think that would allow us shit to get through there, although I'm not totally sure, because they might just be considered enemies. Boom, 10 bombs. Pretty useless to us, really, considering how many bombs we already have, although having extra bombs is always nice, I suppose, in some sense. Here we got Visses. Brimstone is in this game as an item, which is the item that allows us to shoot blood lasers, similar to the Vis, but we got Chubb already as a downgrade. He's already been downgraded to a normal enemy. Feel bad, or I believe Chubb is actually a she, so apologies for getting that wrong, Chubb. I want to respect your gender. Yeah, now Chubb is dead, so we can move on to the next room. And that item is the Emperor, which will teleport us to the boss, which I think is better than Wheel of Fortune. We're just kind of holding on to that. All that does is give us a slot machine. There are already a lot of slot machines around, which I don't really use much anyways. We might go back to use that slot machine in the arcade, though, if we find ourselves running low on keys to get into the shop, or something akin to that. This is kind of the last time we'll need keys, though, since there are no more shops in the room, and no more item rooms either. Here we have the boss room, and some of these skull helmet guys, including their red counterparts who can be shot easily. Oh, okay, let's got the spike thing attacking us. That was just gross negligence on my part. We gotta look for the shop now. Not here. All we got is some of these dudes. Unfortunately. We would need a key to get through there normally, but I'm gonna use our ladder. We do get some keys anyways, so in case we have any key blocks or anything like that to unlock on the next floor, we do have some keys. We have some extra keys, and we also have one key. We didn't need a key before, didn't we, to just get into that shop, most likely. Depending on where the shop is placed. If it's to the right of the secret room, we actually wouldn't need a key, theoretically, since we could just bomb our way in. Though bombs still retain some semblance of usefulness on the later floors, since there's still some of those secret rooms seen on the later floors. Even though there are none of those other things. Here we got some of these thingies. I don't know what these dudes are. They're some kind of sea enemies. I think they're actually some kind of like blood and guts type monster, but I'm not worried. We got these leeches, which are like the worst. I hate leeches. Not a fan of leeches, no matter what game we're playing. Another greed. We already got greed, man. Man, fuck greed. Okay, we don't get any more items with our Steam sale. We got from the last greed. Maybe they'll give us another Steam sale. Nah. Okay, the world. I think we'll actually take on. We'll take on the Emperor, because we can, instead of like just seeing where the boss is on the next floor, we can just teleport straight to the boss. Although actually, I'd rather go to the secret room on the next floor, because we could get another item. So I will take the world, which will just reveal the whole map and give us a straight shot to the boss. And I think the secret room too. It actually does show the secret room when you use the world. We actually do have a very good fire rate here, and decently good damage too. Let's see what the pause menu has to say. Oh, we have max tiers and fire and damage. Although I think the caps on those tally marks are a little more limited than they are in Rebirth. Now we're going up against Mom. Mom's basically the same in concept. She just stomps a bit, and you have to shoot her while you have to shoot the parts of her body that come out of the holes in the wall. Her stomp's telegraphed as ever, although I think you can touch her foot in this, which does make her a bit harder. And she also attacks a lot more with her hand, like she just did there. So it's an attack she very rarely uses in Rebirth, something you're not normally threatened by as long as you keep moving around. Here you really just can't get used to you just can't get near the doors, or else you'll get Mom's handed, which is an annoying thing to have happen to you. We're gonna get an easy Mom fight here, though, more or less. Her voice is also considerably different than it is in Rebirth, which I think is interesting. Considering how commonly used those Mom voice clips are, particularly in Rebirth, not so much yet. We got Mom about to attack us. You can always hear her cry when, cry out when she's about to attack. We also get a normal item since there's no Polaroid in this, so we got the breakfast HP up, decent item. Not great in Rebirth, but health is more important in this, as I mentioned. So we're going to move on to the Womb 1. If you notice, there's also a normal trapdoor to the womb instead of a kind of a gutsy hole thing. So that's a bit different. Oh god, these are okay. I know I say a lot of enemies are the worst, but these are probably my actual least favorite enemies in the game. I hate these dudes, the dudes who like pop out from underground and attack the shit out of you. Because sometimes they'll just stay underground for like 3 hours and you just can't do shit. I can't stand that. Oh, we're supposed to use the world, right? Okay, so yeah, now we got a pretty straight shot to the boss. The womb's big. The womb floors are big, so it's good to have a path, especially since there's nothing interesting off the path, more or less, aside from maybe the boss. So I guess the moon will take us straight to the sacred room. We got the My Little Unicorn. We didn't use Bob's Rotten Head last time, but we definitely should. I'm gonna, even though we already have a door open for us, we're actually gonna bomb our way out of here. Also, shopkeepers give you nothing for attacking. And even though these guys are in the game, the tapeworms who shoot you aren't, which is really weird, surreal experience, because those tapeworms who shoot you are like, they seem like some of the most iconic enemies in the game to me. But I guess they weren't added until Rebirth, or at least Wrath of the Lamb. Pretty strange. Pretty strange stuff, that. We got another bomb. There are no super secret rooms in this game, by the way, which is the reason I haven't been looking for them. Just the normal secret rooms. I believe the super secret rooms were added in Wrath of the Lamb or so. Heard them mentioned since time immemorial, which is definitely Wrath of the Lamb by my time. Didn't really play in the past. Not really part of the old guard of the Binding of Isaac. Okay, well, we just don't have a key now, so that's kind of annoying. We could use a key to open that locked chest, which could have something really great in it, like a Cricket's head, or Max's head as it's known in this game, which is a bit strange, but we won't. We'll just fight the boss, who is Death, so we will actually get a level 3 Meat Boy, which is far more common than it is in Rebirth, since there are just so many more bosses besides the Horsemen to fight in Rebirth. That you don't see that very often. Death can slow us down. He can shoot scythes at us. He also does this thing where he kind of lets his horse go. He's not very loyal to his horse, despite being a horseman. He's more like a horse boy, I guess. Some manifestation of Isaac is generally the interpretation of pretty much every enemy in the game. But yeah, all we have to do now is get rid of these dudes, the brain dudes, and get rid of that. Get rid of that horse already, I guess. So we got that level 3 Meat Boy. Also, since the ball banjo just doesn't ever drop, it is just more reliable in that sense. We're going to move on down to the Womb 2, Home of Mom's Heart, probably the last floor. We're going to play in this Let's Play, unless we or not a Let's Play. This is the Binding of Isaac Uncut, as I mentioned. No goal here, as you can see by just doing something kind of random and crazy for this particular video. Playing the original Binding of Isaac. And there goes our Meat Boy. There he goes. Attacking stuff. We got some blasts to fight. We're actually a boss on the Womb 1, which is kind of weird situation to see him running around here on just regular old enemies. Although we even saw him on the Deaths, so maybe not too strange. After all, the blast assist is a real boss. They use them as enemies a lot, no matter where you go. Even earlier in the game, I mean, from the basement even, they use the grubs contained inside of it. So, standard stuff by anybody's count. You can't really get soul hearts from these, so I guess we won't do that. And I got a giant brain here, which spawns 2 brains when you kill it. Meat Boy's putting in work against that giant brain. So thanks for that, Meat Boy. I found pills. We'll just use that since it doesn't do anything. And then we got the final fight. We got kind of foreshadowing for the final boss. We got those laser eyes, which are, of course, the kind of one of the main threats in the fight against Mom's Heart. No matter how you look at it, I don't have It Lives unlocked here, although it definitely is in the game as a part of the game that It Lives. We got one of these brimstone eyes. Damn, dude, that's not fair. So basically, all Mom's Heart does in this game is summon. So she's not too much of a threat. As long as you can deal with her summons, which aren't even that advanced of summons. Honestly, they're probably easier than. We just got tears up from that pill that dropped. Like these summons are honestly like easier than the ones spawned by Mom herself, aside from maybe those laser eyes, which are very annoying enemies, and the leeches too. But I feel like proportionally, because you're even a little more powerful by the time you get here than you are when you're fighting Mom, a little more experienced. So I feel like this is just overall an easier boss than Mom is, which is kind of a crazy thing to say, because Mom's Heart is honestly very, very difficult in Rebirth. But here, she's nothing. She's just a heart, man. Like, have a heart, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like, have a heart. I just feel kind of bad for this lady who is a heart. Just trying to survive. And she does kind of make some weirdo echoey sounds, and maybe a flash glitch, I'm not really sure. She can shoot explosive shots, but like, who's afraid of explosive shots, honestly? Not me, certainly. Especially when they're not actually aimed. Even if they are a bit fast. You know, especially after she's dead. Even now. And we didn't get a portal to the Devil Room, so that means this playthrough is just about over. See this ending. We unlocked something new since it was one of our first times beating Mom's Heart in the whole game. What's Isaac find in that chest? We found a quarter! Nice! So we unlocked the quarter now. It gives us 25 coins if we manage to find it. Ultra Greed drops that in Rebirth, but not in this. Anyways, yeah. Nice little credits sequence here, which is kind of cooler than the one in Rebirth, considering it shows all the enemy names at the end, since the credits themselves are much shorter due to this being just developed by like 5 people. Very much an indie game. Even if Rebirth can be considered somewhat of an indie game, this is very, very much an indie game. Yep, the 7 Deadly Sins, Monstro, Larry Jr., the Duke of Flies, Gemini, Chub, Peep, Fistula, Gertie, Loki, Monster 2, Mom, the Harbingers, aka the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, Skullx, Blastocyst. We saw Blastocyst, we didn't see Skullx. Mom's Heart, and Isaac. Isaac's not a boss in the game yet, although I think he was added in Wrathful Lamb. A quarter has appeared in the basement. Congratulations. A bag of pennies has appeared in the basement. Nice. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Probably next video I'm going to upload is part 3 of that Let's Play of SMB Back in Action by Night Kawada. See you all later.